Hello and welcome to week 7 of the League of Barons. I am Joel Killingsworth, and tonight I am joined by none other than Dale Capron. How are you doing, Dale?
I'm doing good, Joel. Thank you for asking.
So we've got, for your viewing pleasure tonight, we have Eddie Preisser running a Boba Fett and Bosk list, and John Huff running Callus, Magviaro, and Biggs Darklighter. Dale, why don't you take a look at Eddie's list and talk us through what we've got?
All right, so we got Boba Fett, obviously Initiative 5, Fire Spray, really popular. 10 health behind 2 green dice. He's got Fearless, Maul, Seismic Charges, Contraband Cybernetics, Stealth Device, and Slave 1. So, racked up in 112 points. Pretty popular thing right now. And then Bosk, which I don't see a whole lot of, at 72 points, has got Zuckus, Forlom, and Greedo. Lots of different combos there that basically get past people's defensive tokens and dice. Also, Contraband Cybernetics, just like Boba, and with a hull upgrade. So both ships really tough, looks like.
Very cool. Yeah, this I got to see. Um, I don't know if it's exactly the same list. I think he's been working on variations of this list all season.
Oh, okay.
But last week I got to catch the tail end of his game with Scott, and Scott just kept talking about how hard Bosk was to kill. Like there was just it felt
Hmm.
like it just went on and on and on. So we should see quite. I would expect to see Bosk hanging around longer than we think he ought to in this match.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like he's got up to 10 hull. He's getting close to a decimator almost in health.
Yeah,
That's pretty nasty.
yeah. So then over on the right side of the board, we have John's squad, and he's using Alexander Callis, the newest pilot for the Ghost, and one I have not personally seen on the table, so this should be very interesting. And he's running passive sensors, which is an upgrade I love on the Ghost. It's got that
Hmm.
enormous 4 dice front gun, and you really want to be able to mod that as much as possible. And then he's got
Definitely.
Chewbacca for some repairability on all that hull that he's lugging around, and Nia Num to increase the blues on the dial. Now, Alexander Callis' ability, if you're not familiar, as I was not before this match, um, is that if the opponent uh, modded their dice when attacking, you get to add 1 green die. So normally he doesn't get to roll any, or maybe 1 if he's being fired at through an obstacle or at range 3. He gets to add 1 to that. So again, we're seeing kind of a defensive orientation to the big beefy ship in the list. And
Yeah,
then,
definitely.
and then to add to that defense, he's got Biggs Darklighter running alongside of him. And then to add further to that defense, he's got Magvayaro, who's saying, well, you can't actually mod your dice, but if you could mod your dice, I'd roll extra dice. So, we've also got Leia on Magvayaro, so we're going to see a lot of maneuvering flexibility out of these ships as well.
Definitely. It looks like he's trying to keep that big ghost alive as long as possible, which makes sense. It's the heavy hitter in the list.
Mm-hmm. So, looking at the way that Eddie has kind of set up, he's got his 2 ships in the corners set up for really a lot of options, right? Like he can attack on the flank with Boba, or as we see here, kind of run up his own side to get Boba out of the way if he needs to. What do you think his ideal engagement looks like?
I think, he'd probably love to bring, I mean, he's got to take care of Biggs. It has to be a concern when he comes in and try to avoid that big gun on the ghost. Maybe bringing Bosk down that lane between the 2 asteroids and then the 2 gas clouds and kind of catch Biggs in a bad spot there if he can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that
don't
does
I
that.
don't know if you yeah, I don't know if you risk Boba too much because Bosk can take so much damage. You
Right.
can bring Bosk in and do some lifting and then bring Boba in behind him later.
Yeah. I think the risk you take there, of course, is that if you engage with Bosk without any plan to attack with Boba, then it's possible that you take too much damage and don't
Mm,
dish out enough, and then you end up behind in the damage race. One thing I do like with this positioning of Boba is that he can just take a one hard here or maybe a two hard, and then in the
hmm
following turn he can make maximum use of Slave 1 to dodge behind one or the other of these two gas clouds in the middle of the board.
Yeah, Boba can be pretty shifty. So,
Yeah. But regardless, it looks like John's going to have a decision to make soon. He's kind of pulled his ships into the field of gas clouds, and if he keeps going
hmm
straight, then his medium and large ship are going to run straight over them. So we're going to see some sort of decision out of him as to which ship he's going after pretty soon, I think.
I'm not really sure how his ghost, how Callus is going to avoid that gas cloud directly in front of him with that
Mm-hmm.
large base. Maybe he just blasts through it, but it'd be a shame not to make use of that passive sensor.
Yeah. Now he can't get back passive sensors with coordinate, but he could still coordinate a
Mm,
focus or some such from Magva on the turn that he goes through the cloud. So there are at least some options there.
yeah, that's true. I guess strain doesn't affect the ghost too much.
No, except that it might affect Callus more than others though,
Yeah,
because all of those minus ones and plus ones get put together, and then the minimum of you can't roll fewer than zero shows up. So the strain would counteract Callus's ability.
okay.
So, Dale, a little bit more about you. You have been also participating in the League of Barons over these past few weeks,
I have. Hmm
and doing pretty well. What's your record so far?
Well, I'm sitting at 3-3. I'm ranked 10th out of 20.
Oh no,
So,
my
that's not bad.
information is out of date.
Yeah, I went 3-0 to start off and then 0-3 after that. So, came back to, normal.
Right.
The I guess you'd say the probability evened out.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been so much fun, getting a game in with people in the area.
Yeah, that's been my experience. It's been really nice to have this one night a week that I have to look forward to, uh, just to have
Hmm
have something different that I'm doing.
Right.
So here we see the strain being picked up by Callus as he does run into that cloud. That's going to be no action for him this round as Magva has already moved and the opportunity for a coordinate has passed. Boba Fett not looking for the cheeky turn in, instead taking a nice long three bank, which is definitely still a good call. He's got opportunities this next round again to use Slave 1 if he wants to. He can take a turn and decide whether it was a turn in or a turn away after the fact.
Sure, you're right. See where everybody else goes and then use his initiative 5 to either come in to attack or just coast on out. This Boba Fett setup we see all the time is so cool. So many options.
It really is. I've enjoyed flying him myself.
Hmm
Now, the stealth device is a nice touch. I think it makes it that much more difficult to get that first damage in. And if
Right.
if you get a healthy Boba Fett into an end game situation, it becomes exponentially harder to kill him.
Definitely. He's a fantastic endgame piece.
Hmm. But that also should make him even more wary of the four dice gun out of the ghost because though with the more dice being chucked at him, the greater risk he takes of just losing that stealth device off the bat.
Hmm At least John got that bump on the gas cloud out of the way for the ghost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Assuming he moves left on his next move, he should avoid that one directly in front of him.
Yeah. So Magva and Biggs both moving at initiative 3. Some turns look pretty juicy for them. Um,
Hmm.
maybe a 2 turn out of each, maybe a 3 turn out of Biggs. Although Biggs could probably just do a nice easy bank and be set up for the following round. The question is, if he wants to keep turning with Callus, he's going to run right into that next cloud. So which might be worth it. It might be the best call to keep guns on because you're also setting up that K turn on that ship because he's got Leia. He's ready to go with the red moves when he wants them.
That's true. I wonder if he doesn't just push that ghost and land on the next cloud, so he's got good firepower going into Bosk.
Mm-hmm.
And it might convince Boba Fett to go the other way, which might help John out a little bit.
Yeah, I think Boba Fett, even though he has Fearless, probably doesn't want to go nose to nose with a ghost in the first round of combat.
No, definitely not.
But that's also, we're talking about trying to conserve Boba and making sure that he doesn't take too much damage too early. But the same can be said of John's list with Callus, right? Because that's his primary damage dealer. It's the biggest gun in the list. It's also the most points in a single ship. He's got Magva and he's got Biggs. This list is clearly designed to keep that gun around as long as possible. So shoving the ghost up in front first thing could also be bad for John, just as shoving Boba up in front could be bad for Eddie.
True. Yep.
So to that end, I think I might like to see a. Oh, it's tough. I don't like where that cloud is. It makes everything more complicated. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a one bank to the left with Callus and just accept that this round of combat isn't going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
It's either that or take the cloud, and it's a hard choice.
Just depends on how fierce John wants to get, how pushy
Yeah.
with the ghost. But if he does go left and takes that little one bank, I mean, he's got the protection from the cloud a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It does kind of protect his big feast for a little bit, which seems to be what his whole list is about.
So to remind the audience, we are playing on a 12 turn countdown. And as you can see in the top of the map, they have piled some shield tokens up, and we are in the third round of the game. With this plus 9 rounds to go. I'm assuming with the one side being two beefy ships and the other side having a lot of defensive abilities, that this game will go all 12 rounds.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, even the weakest ship, Biggs, has got a shield upgrade, so
Yeah.
we could see some ships staying on the board a long time.
And hull regen.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he's just sitting in the back there going, "Shoot me, shoot me."
Little
Now,
damage soaker.
now I do really like the clouds for like coming up through the clouds on John's side for Biggs, because if Biggs can activate his ability, but at the same time be protected by a cloud from direct fire, then that's pretty optimal for
Hmm.
John.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I have not played against Biggs very much in second edition. And in first edition you were forced to shoot at him, right? And so there wasn't this
Right.
decision of, do I allow my damage to be bled away or do I just take the bad shots? uh, so I think that there's that psychological aspect to Biggs that has the potential to make him a really good piece, because you always want to be presenting your opponent with as many chances to make a mistake as possible.
Definitely. So Joel, I've noticed you've done pretty well so far in the League of Barons. What's been working for you on the table?
Well, I have been trying a bit of everything. I
Hmm.
don't, playing online like this gives you an opportunity to try things that you don't actually own the pieces for, right? And so
Right.
I kind of started down that path. I was throwing four Aether Sprites on the table and just doing this and that. And
Hmm.
so I just started taking what kind of looked fun, what was a good list out of each faction, and kind of just going down and trying a bunch of different things, and it's worked out really well. Um,
Cool.
so for Scum, I was flying a somewhat similar list to this. It was using Kushka Frost instead of Boba, or I'm sorry, instead of Bosk as Boba's wingman,
Right.
and had a lot of fun with that. I'd actually been using that on the table prior to the beginning of the league.
Okay.
But this week is Rebels, and I have not played with Rebels very much, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So you've intentionally changed your faction each week, right?
I
Just to
have,
get
yeah,
variety.
yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. It feels to me like the rebel faction, just I can't point to specifics, but it seems like they like whole, they like beef and
Mm,
stuff, and they don't really have the kind of dodging kind of things that you see with maybe the Imperial ships.
right.
So I'll be curious to see what you will take for rebels.
Well, I've been looking real hard at the Cassian Braylon 10 interaction as a
Okay.
core, and with the addition of the double tapping configuration for B wings,
Hmm.
that's really caught my attention. There was a list. We had a team tournament in Birmingham back in February where a Braylon 10 list where both of them were double tapping and they sprinkle in a couple of other ships did really really well.
Right.
So I've been looking at that, and I just really love the Cassian with Leia crew interaction, specifically with Braylon, to just enable you to point your biggest guns in whatever direction you want to, basically any turn. and um,
Right.
and so filling in that fourth piece is really kind of the difficulty there, because since the points change that destroyed the kind of traditional rebel beef archetype, you can't fit something like wedge in there. It's got to be more of a filler piece. So I was
Mm.
fiddling around with maybe Arvel with intimidation. That's always a lot of fun. Or if I want to fit points for the double taps on the bees, then use Lieutenant Blunt to get that 30 point, sometimes 3 die gun on the table.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think the B Wings might be the best rebel ship currently with the new S foils they got.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It even, like, specifically, the two best pilots out of those are obviously um, Braylon and 10, and the new configuration. Like, even if you don't use a cannon, helps 10 out a bunch because he gets to get stressed and get a target lock in the same action chain.
Right.
So we
Yeah,
see.
the S.
I'm sorry.
Go
Go ahead.
ahead. I was just gonna say the S foils card's good even without cannon upgrades.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we see Eddie having decided he's committed. It looks like John's having difficulty. Maybe it's with the callus maneuver, like we were talking about. It's really hard, but that gas cloud being there.
Mm. I feel like he kind of flew his ships into this gas cloud box almost, and he's not sure how to get out of it.
Yeah. So here we have dials down for both players. So we should see maneuvers first out of probably Magva, followed by Biggs. And we'll
Yeah, I
see
think so.
then we'll see what that decision was with Callus. Oh, we have Eddie changing his mind with Bosk. Got some mind games going on this turn.
This is the most important decision he'll make in his
Yeah,
entire.
but there was actually a judge call just a moment ago. Had to step away from the mic. John was asking whether Strain did interact with Callus's ability. So that is heavily on their minds as they are deciding how this next turn is going to look. All right, so here we go with the Too Hard out of Magva, fitting nicely between the gas clouds. Taking a lock onto Bosk, which would be the natural target here. Not likely that Boba's going to end up in her arc.
No, no way.
So looking at the positioning there, it looks like if Biggs does the the zero Talon. There we go. Um, looking at the positioning there, it looks like if Callus were to bank towards Magva, he might not actually make it. So it looks like a straight's probably the best positioning for him this round.
Hmm. If he's going to go straight, I hope he goes quick enough to get kind of over the gas cloud. Otherwise, Bosk will get that free or practically free evade from it.
Yeah, that's true. But on the same time, at the same time, so does Callus. So
Mm,
it's hard to
true.
say. So here we see the one bank out of Biggs getting nice and nestled up. No reason to rush things.
Mm,
Boss coming in very aggressive, looking like maybe he's trying to get a few good punches in on Callus before the fight really starts. Oh, very nice. Looks like the two bank does clear Magva by the
mm.
barrist.
I'm sure he planned it that way from the beginning. Man, Bosk and Callis are just going to punch each other in the face.
It's going to be brutal. Unfortunately for Callus, he is not going to be modded on that shot this round.
Mm.
Let's see. Turd Hats would like to see initiative next to the pilots on the overlay. I think that's something that we can do. Unfortunately, if we do this, there will be a lie. And that lie will be that Callus does not exist in the overlay software yet. And what you see is a chopper with a bunch of makeup. Let's see.
I guess Callis is still trying to decide which team he's playing for.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that Bosk move to get him out of the lane that the rebels were coming down.
Mm-hmm.
For next turn, he can get out of that.
Yeah, I like it as well. It like now looking currently, it looks like Magva still has a shot on him this round. But
Mhm.
she's gonna have a hard time maintaining time on target unless she sits still and rotates next turn.
Mhm.
But what it does do, however, is it opens up the K turn on Callus next round.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what John was thinking. Maybe get the ghost behind Bosk
Mm-hmm.
next round. Because Bosk cannot turn around. Not quickly.
So we see some sort of, I guess, future planning on both players' parts here with the positioning of their big ships. Boba Fett boosting in for a range one flank shot on Callus. And that will be unobstructed. Fortunately, Callus did not pick up a second strain, rolled a blank on the gas roll. So he will be using all of his potentially one defense dice.
One is better than zero in this case.
It can be, but it's unmodded, so and it's a green die. So is it really better than zero? We shall find out.
You're checking for Big's ability there.
Looks like Biggs is range 2 from Boba. Not sure about whether he's range 1 from the other ships or not.
If Boba Fett shoots at Callus, then anything he does on the attack dice counts as modification, right? So
Yeah,
using the
so
Force or
mm-hmm.
Fearless,
Mm-hmm.
all those things would trigger the Callus die.
That is correct. With Boba Fett, he's got all sorts of options there. Now, he can't use Fearless on this shot because Fearless requires your opponent's front arc to be pointed back at you as well.
Oh, that's right.
But he will have two rerolls. Looks like having difficulty updating the roll from Eddie. But whatever it was, Callus deflected one of it.
His shot must have gone into Callus then, because Yarrow and Biggs would both get two dice.
Yeah. Looks like he is utilizing Biggs' ability to pull off one of the damage. So that is a
Um,
shield damage on Biggs. So that is 2 damage that will have been mitigated on the ghost. For a range 1 shot into a 0 agility ship, that's pretty good.
That is. You could easily see the ghost practically losing its shields in that shot.
Mm. So there's some question in chat about the details surrounding Big's ability. So let's take a minute and look at that. So we have Big saying, while another friendly ship at range 0 to 1 defends, before the neutralize result step, if you are in the attack arc, you may suffer 1 hit or crit damage to cancel 1 matching result. So it has 2 requirements. 1, that he be at range 0 to 1 of the original target, and 2, that he be in the attack arc. Both of those requirements were met here on an attack into definitely Callus, presumably either ship, from either ship.
So Biggs must have been at range 1 of Callus.
Mm.
And it sounds like his ability, if you chose to, you could pull a crit onto Biggs. Like if he still had shields and the ghost didn't, you could just choose a crit instead of a hit.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of like
Hmm.
a super selfless.
Yeah.
And double checking, Biggs. Biggs does not have a talent slot, so he can't also equip selfless.
That would be pretty crazy.
It'd be silly. It's like, shoot my buddy, but I'm gonna take 2 damage. So
Right.
So we currently have connection issues with the players. So we will be right back when that is resolved. And we're back. And joining us out of the blue is none other than Charlie Hicks. How you doing, Charlie?
Doing well. Now that I've got technology put behind me, it's going to be a good rest of the game.
Okay, excellent. Looking forward to it.
All right, so it looks like we've got a nice classic Rebel versus Scum brouhaha over
Yep.
here.
So here we have the second shot of the round. Bosk into Callus. Looks like range 1, utilizing Greedo's ability to change a hit into a crit. And that change there is a modification, triggering Callus's ability to roll 1 die. But it comes up blank. No modification. So Bosk using his ability to change a crit into 2 hits. Damage quickly multiplying into the ghost. Big's ability should still be available to absorb another of the hits.
All that damage mitigation does tend to help.
Possibility is great when you can take out extra shields when crits don't matter.
Right. Yeah,
More damage
just get
for
that
you.
nice multiplicative effect. I mean, the the combination of Bosk and Greedo is so good. It's something that I've been looking at. I haven't quite got it to the point that I've liked it. I've seen it um, in a couple of different shades, but yeah, just trying to make sure to go ahead and front load that as much as possible. It works to your advantage definitely when you've got a bunch of efficiency lists and everything like that. But yeah, if somebody brings the ace, then Bosk is set.
So to summarize that attack, we have Bosk, 4 dice, range 1, into Alexander, rolls a blank. Bosk, through shenanigans, ends up with 2 hits and a crit. And Biggs absorbs the crit for 1 more shield damage, and Callus takes 2 shields. Now, Callus firing at Bosk, rolling 2 hits and a crit. No modifications available. So this is where Callus dusts off his shoulders and says, "My turn."
Yeah, and Bosk isn't that much more agile than the Ghost, so he's
Not
going to take a lot of that on his chin.
not at all. Rolls a blank. Looking at 3 damage onto the shields coming in.
Well, you know, he's got to be sad coming to the party. Is all Magda Yara. She came over here to suppress all these target locks, and everybody's like, "But what if I didn't?"
Well, she's carrying Leia, which we should see put to great effect in the following turn, I would imagine.
Right, because probably you would expect to see Callus doing that big 5K of his and putting gun to bear. Coming into Bosk's blind spot, there's not anything that he can really do about it at this point,
Mm-hmm.
except maybe take a hard maneuver. But then if he does that, then he's running the risk of showing either more of his back or getting dangerously close to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does move first, so he has the opportunity to bump himself into Callus if he wants.
Right, but that's not going to do him any favors if this is the Leia turn.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes.
Here we have the range 2 shot out of Magba into Bosk, rolling hit, focus, spin the lock, reroll into hit, crit. Bosk will save himself 1, but that's going to be a crit on the hull. And that is a disabled power regulator.
Which, yeah, that's going to be really interesting to kind of see how that goes because the YV doesn't have a whole lot of repositioning options. And now that you've basically just put a countdown on it, it's Yeah, they're about to get on the wrong side of that 180-degree firing arc, and Boss going to be really sad about it.
Mm. The question's going to be whether or not Bosk is alive to see that fourth turn when disabled power regulator matters.
Yeah, it won't matter at all until three more turns from
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless Boba Fett makes him a even more attractive target than Bosk, which I can't really imagine. Like, you just want to go ahead and take half of that list off the table right now.
sure.
Well, that's the real kicker though. It's not even half. Bosk is
Right,
only
right.
72 points in this getup, so it's a
Yeah.
lot of meat to chew on for not that many points. Now, Last Starfighter in the chat is suggesting Bosk with Greedo and Maul plus Torkel being a powerful combination and one you might try and take a look at, Charlie.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to excommunicate you for heresy because I don't want to see Torkel in the rest of X-Wing for the rest of my life. I'm just gonna be blunt about it. Man, that might be the most grief-inducing piece in the entire game for me. I hate Torkel much so much.
So here we
I didn't
have.
think you flew. Okay, go ahead.
Now, I was saying here we have a shot out of Biggs, and it doesn't matter who he shot at because he didn't roll any paint.
Well, his mama still likes him.
He's not here to roll paint. He's here to take damage.
Also true.
So there are still 2 shields on Alexander Callus, both of which owe their lives to brave Biggs Darklighter.
Yeah. Just all those spare shots just singeing his mustache. Okay, so if this is the Callus round, or not the Callus round, the Leia round, then what do we expect? Where are we looking at in this situation? So we've got the 5K, um, the
Oh, it's
probably the
not.
pivot.
It's not a 5K anymore.
That's right.
They they
They
they
turned it
nerfed it,
to a flip. That's right.
but 4 will still clear Bosk, so it's fine.
Absolutely. And then probably the 90-degree to the left with Magba, and
Mm-hmm.
then Biggs is in a kind of a funny spot because he wants to kind of stay hip pocket with his buddies, but there's not a whole lot of moves where Boba just doesn't dunk on him for getting close to him.
Mm. I think you go ahead and take the one bank left with Biggs and just focus up and hope to get a nice juicy shot.
I can see it.
And
He did.
uh, and he's even gonna maintain range 1 to Magva while he does it, just in case Eddie decides to take revenge on Magva with Bosk.
I can see that. I also don't hate a one straight. I mean, that just keeps your
Mm.
options pretty wide open.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. Does a one straight clear?
Yeah,
Okay.
I cares.
They did change the ghost style ever so slightly. Um,
It's called the playtesting works.
used to have a 5K, which is tremendous. 5Ks are wonderful. If you haven't done it, you should. Um, and they replaced it with a 4K, as you can see here. Everything else, it might have had a blue 3 straight as well, but everything else I think stayed the same.
The 5K with the ghost was awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
Just get
anytime that
over
you can
everybody.
clear that much space.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time that it's a liability is when you're just staring at the edge and you're like, that'll fit. And then you have Schrodinger's 5K.
So the story that I'm hearing is that the 5K on the Lancer never fits, but the 5K on the Ghost always fits.
It both fits and doesn't fit until you reveal the dial, in which case it collapses the way it functions.
It's because rebel dials are better than scum dials.
Mm, at least they were, but then they took the 5K away.
I mean, they have a higher proportion of one straights, so that's probably true.
It's a strong move.
Lancer still doesn't fit though. Never does.
Yeah. However, the one straight on that Biggs has in front of him will definitely fit.
Charlie is certain.
He's
I am.
absolutely certain. It's like he's taking his thumb and he's like, "Thumb, you are now Biggs," and he has put that thumb out there. Now doing the
Power of
same,
Charlie.
I think it'll fit. I'm on Team Charlie with this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that just because if he did the bank, I mean, that feels like an overcommitment. I don't know that Boba's necessarily going to have a whole lot of choices that aren't like a one bank, anyways. So
Oh,
I
there
don't
we
know.
see Leia. Leia's happening.
Yep,
For sure.
smoke him if you got him.
Now Boba's got a gas cloud right in front of him. It's hard to see with the ghost sitting there, but he might just go fast and just blast through there. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, the one place that he's sure Biggs won't be is where Biggs is now.
Hmm.
yeah, that's true.
So here we have the closing of the wings on the U wing.
Oh,
Hmm.
that is interesting.
Looks
Maybe
like,
expecting that three bank from Boba.
mm,
Yeah, if you, but well, I don't know. That's a good hedge because if Callus did the 4K and if Boba decides that he doesn't just want to be Magma bait and bumps into her, then I mean, Callus has still got 4 dice pointed at him. So I don't know. I don't hate that. I just we'll see how that goes.
and a Talon roll. So definitely looking
Ooh,
to catch Boba this round.
Hmm.
wow. I did not expect the talent roll from Biggs.
But he is grabbing a lock on Bosk. So it looks like he's expecting maybe a long maneuver from Bosk, trying to get behind the incoming attack arcs.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure a three bank out of Bosk gets him past Callus.
Right.
And if
Oh,
out, but the attempt was made.
true.
So we have a bump out of Bosk. No action. Here we see the clearing of the tokens in preparation for the 4K.
Ooh, boy.
There we have it. This time, Callus will be firing modified for the first time in the game.
And what a time to do
Yep.
right up Bosk's tail feathers.
Since that is a 4, not a 5, it's guaranteed to be range 1. Looks like he takes the lock. So now we just see what Boba has in store here. Nothing he can do to avoid clipping the gas cloud.
It's all just mitigation, taking one of those guns away, maybe two.
Hmm. So if he did dial in a fast maneuver, say the three bank,
Mhm.
then I think the right call is to just go ahead and take the bump into Magva. You'll still get a rear arc shot into Biggs. Might move the arc around enough to get a shot onto Callus.
Oh,
Takes the one hard.
I think he'll be out of Magva's arc with that.
Yep, yep. So that looks good as well.
Yeah. So Boba just doing Boba things. Magva's going to be sad. Biggs is going to be sad, but it's springtime for Callus over here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and safe from the strain. No consequences in Bobaland.
One thing I do like about what John has done is get that big important piece out of everybody's way.
Right. So he doesn't have to take that many shots on the chin with the ghost, and he can kind of approach this from at least a position where he's got a few more options. I mean, the problem with Boba is that there's really no safe entry point against him, so that's always going to be problematic. But this at least gives him a puncher's chance at kind of clearing out that less than half of the list, so he's got some negotiating power.
Mm-hmm.
So here we see no shot out of Boba, moving on to Bosk's engagement step, where we see the first of many ion tokens being applied from the disabled
Oh
power
boy.
regulator. So he has the choice now whether he wants to take that range 1 into Magva or what looks to be a range 2 into Biggs. Magva has not taken any damage so far, but Magva also is carrying Leia. So we definitely have a difficult decision here.
The U-wing down to 1 defensive die because of the pivoting.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah.
4 dice, so
Like
he
it's
took the range 1. Only rolls 2, but it's Bosk with Greedo we're talking about, so it's going to be plenty. Magva rolling 1 focus. See whether he decides to spend that token or thinks that he has a shot on Boba. No, definitely spends.
Yeah, I think that was the correct choice.
Yeah.
Trying to trace that little line. Everybody's playing Zapruder over here and trying to see if that ever shaves Boba. I just don't think it does.
Yeah. Checking range from Biggs to Magva to try to pull an extra hit away. Doesn't manage to. Bosk uses his ability to pull an extra hit out of thin air, and Magva loses 2 shields. If Callus can just land a good solid punch here, then overall this trade will have been in John's favor, I think.
Yep. And the really nice thing about this too is depending on how Bosk moves this next turn, if you're not particularly overcommittal with Callus, you could do this all over again. Oh, it's a good time to spend a target lock. That's a,
Manages to pick up 1 more
yeah,
for 2 hits and a crit into a blank on defense. So we're going to see 3
that
more
could,
hull off of Bosk.
yep. Those haymakers.
That is a
And
direct
direct hit.
hit.
Mm.
Wow.
Boss can take exactly one more of those.
He started out with 13 health total.
He has taken quite a pounding.
It's like watching one of those Rocky movies where like nobody actually blocks punches; they just take haymakers in the face and just sort of. So
Yeah.
feels pretty good. Makes for, but
It's the power of being an American.
that's right. My cat is commenting on the state of this game.
What does the cat think?
Unimpressed.
So checking primary arc options for Magviara, looks like Boba is not in arc. And Biggs obviously doesn't have a shot, so back to Dials. So this
Now,
brings us up
sorry.
to one charge on Leia, the ever important Doomsday counter, back to the Rebels just get to reset the board state again every 3 turns.
So if you're Magva in this situation, do you just jam the air brake again? It's not a bad spot to be.
It's hard. You don't want to lose your action. You don't want to stay on one green die, but moving forward does you no good here. So
Right.
I think you do. I think you just sit where you're at, and you probably don't rotate.
No, I wouldn't think so.
I think you probably just sit. Now, Bosk has some interesting options this turn. Either he goes really fast and maybe the 3 bank clears Boba, and it'll definitely clear going towards the right, out toward that
Mhm.
asteroid, because Biggs is going to have moved, but Biggs may end up blocking the maneuver trying to get in front of where Magva is now. Or you just go ahead and you peel off back toward Eddie's side of the board.
Yeah, like so I think 3 hard right. I mean, it's a Hail Mary because if Callus is remotely being conservative with his moves and is not just throttling ahead, then he's still probably got enough firepower to go ahead and take Bosk out, but can make him miss. Then he's got one more turn to then he'll be ionized, so he's got a little bit of a problem. Hmm.
So here we
So
have
this
seismic charge being dropped by Boba. Definitely going to
oh,
have that central gas cloud in range. May just barely have the asteroid up in the top left corner.
wonder if he's just resigning that Bosk is going to take this whether he likes it or not.
So here we have Magva opening her wings. I really like that feature of changing the model image. And
Hmm.
she does sit still, so well caught there, Charlie.
Seemed like a good idea. Of course, less of a good idea now that there's a live seismic charge next to this very popular obstacle.
So we see Magva burning contraband cybernetics
Hmm. What a
Oh,
good card.
interesting.
in order to get her focus token this round, regardless.
Big,
Biggs taking
big salad rolled again.
Talon Roll twice in a row, the stop twice in a row. These are just some of the features that you too can use while playing Leia Crew.
There's the he actually be safe from that seismic.
Maybe.
Interesting.
It's gonna be
I think so.
close.
I think
Depends
that'll
on
clear it.
if he can reach the asteroid in the top of the seismic, then absolutely. That's a near thing to being range one of the gas cloud, I think.
See where Callus goes. This is going to be really interesting.
I mean, I kind of expect just a nice non-committal one straight.
That's what I was
Probably
expecting.
so. Maybe a one bank in case Bosk did go right,
Mm.
but nothing too
Yeah.
big. I don't know where the ghost can go where it won't be in range one of that gas cloud when the seismic goes off.
I mean, it's one damage. I'm
It's
not
the
sure the
ghost.
ghost cares.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Take it on the chin. Yep.
One forward to victory.
So he's still got a nice shot. I think I'd take a focus here just in case Boba ends up in a really juicy spot. Yeah.
Surprised.
See
I'm
that focus.
surprised he has an option for the passive sensors.
I'm not sure that in this situation. Oh, there he goes. Passive
Oh,
sensors.
there he goes.
Psych.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
uh,
Charlie the Prophet.
yeah. So yeah, that essentially ends up with the same thing. It's only better on offense than the focus because it allows for crit generation,
Yep.
which the focus does not. Otherwise, if you view hits and crits the same, then it does the same thing to the attack dice distribution that a focus does. But with passive sensors, you get all the flexibility the same way you would with a focus. So it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And Bosk does escape, but Boba does not.
Mm. However, that does not count towards stealth device disabling. So
It
he'll still have.
does.
Wait.
It does. Let's
Yeah,
take a look at
any
stealth
damage.
Oh,
device.
it's two separate sentences. After you suffer damage. Okay.
So that's a
Reading.
shield on Magva, a shield on Callus, a shield on Boba, and stealth device is gone.
Oh, that hurts.
It's just the sign of ultimate disrespect. I brought these points. I didn't need them.
Boba's so confident.
He is.
Looks like Boba has range 1 into Biggs or range 2 into either Magva or Callus.
I'm glad he got rid of that annoying gas cloud right in the middle of the field. Everybody was landing on it.
Yeah. No, nobody liked that gas cloud.
Yeah.
Man, this shows how many times I've played against Magba recently, realizing that it's not just target locks; it's any rerolls.
Yeah, but it limits the rerolls to 1. Um, but right now, Boba only has 1 ship at range 1, so he'd only get to reroll 1 anyway.
Yep.
Takes the range 1 shot at Biggs, rolls plenty, spends the force for 3 hits and a crit.
Wow.
Biggs blocks 1,
Doing what Biggs does,
so he'll take.
bleeding out, but not fast enough.
So that'll be his last
Nobody else can help
shield.
him.
He helps everyone else, but not himself.
Tell you, that's a really resilient mustache.
So here we see the damage being applied to Biggs, coming down to 2 hull, looking for the crit.
Blinded pilot.
Stunned.
No, stunned pilot.
After you execute a maneuver, if you move through or overlapped an obstacle, suffer 1 damage. It's a really nice thing that annoying gas cloud is out of the way.
Yep. And once again,
True.
stunned pilot has 0 impact whatsoever. Saved by the seismic charge.
So here we have Bosk coming around for his second ion token.
And you know what? His Greedo charge is still up.
It is, as he does not get an opportunity to shoot.
Yeah. Sometimes you eat the bar, and sometimes the bar eats you.
I mean, what do you really want out of Greedo for 1 point, though? Like,
No, it's great. Like it's good flavor for the scumminess, I guess.
Mhm.
But also when it does actively work out in your favor, it feels really good.
Yeah. So checking ranges for Callus, got a range 2 into either of Eddie's ships. Well, he throws the lock onto Bosk, so that's where the shot's going.
Yeah, seems good. I mean, that's gonna be a crit salad, so if he remembers Greedo, that is.
Not the best opening roll. See if the lock can save it.
Ooh,
Oh,
Hate,
terrible.
man.
hate to see it.
Yeah,
So
that's
1 crit, which could just get blocked here. But does not.
oh no.
Looking at structural damage. So no no damage will ever be blocked by Bosk ever again.
Man,
Who's the ghost now?
indeed.
So with that
Yeah.
180 arc though, the next turn he's going to have potential to be able to fire again.
Right. So taking a look here, if he commits to just going ahead and taking a stress for doing the too hard, he probably catches Callus coming
Mm-hmm.
in.
Mm-hmm.
But like Callus can just sweep and probably is out of that because he's probably going to try to take the 3 hard to try to keep some kind of modification. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's a tough sell.
Yeah. Here we have 2 hits out of Biggs. Not sure of the target yet. If he changes one of them to a crit, then it was Bosk.
If you
And 2 greens, showing 1 squiggle, and no immediate rerolls. We do have an extra crit conversion, so that's going to be a crit going into Bosk.
and that's the end of our everybody's favorite lizard.
So then we also have a weapons failure. Oh, it looks like
No,
he,
I'm sorry. He's got the hull upgrade.
yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind.
So he's sitting on 1 hull. Looks like he rolled 1 too many, and on the reroll did not block.
So here's another thing too. If he does go ahead and do the too hard, let's say he tries to trim his range to get that shot at Callus coming in, because of his angle. That's also going to be a little problematic because it's going to skew that 180 degrees to where it's probably shaving just above Callus.
Mm-hmm. So here we have Magva's shot. I think. Oh no, I'm now confused. Yeah, so Magva rolls a hit focus. Bosk is sitting on 2 hull instead of 1. Biggs.
What?
Yeah,
What
I'm
is going?
confused at this point. Is Magva shooting at Bosk?
I don't think that's possible.
No. And Wounded Pilot
It's applied to
is applied
Boss.
to Bosk.
So was the previous attack on Boba then?
Um,
Because it was three. It was 3v2.
Maybe the last attack was Magva on Boba, and then
Right.
Biggs
That's
on
what I'm
Bosk
thinking.
last.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah, for everybody in the chat joining us. Hey, and glad you could join us. We've got a very interesting little match over here. I, for one, am glad to see Callus on the table as a rebel, even though he is a filthy traitor. It's nice to show some of the card pack ships some love. That I honestly haven't seen Callus on the table once. Uh, it's, I mean, obviously the butt of the joke because his card doesn't have the tail gun printed on it, so that's kind of a kerfluffle. But it's nice to see him out in the wild.
all right, so looking at the current state of things, once the dust cleared, Bosk ended up with 2 hull and has the disabled power regulator, structural damage, and wounded pilot crits applied. So no weapons failure. Looks like there was a bit
So
of a miscommunication on Big Shot, and they rewound to do some of that over. Perhaps not taking structural damage into account for the shot.
gotcha.
So here we have Leia getting back up to 2 charges. So she's not ready to pop yet. But one more round, and we could see more shenanigans.
Yeah. So this is going to be interesting because John only has to put a little bit of pressure on Bosk before he just pops like a balloon. I don't know if you would even see more than one ship commit towards Bosk. And if you're thinking about that, then you're thinking about how to deal with Boba. Now, probably, I'm just taking a look here. Because if he has a one hard dialed in as Boba, then that gives him flex at that channel. But I don't know if he does that if he actually clears that gas cloud. So it may not be the prudent choice. What do you think about Boba?
I think I don't know. Does that one heart even clear that rock if he
I think
takes
it
it to the
clears the
right?
rock, but I'm doubtful that it clears the gas.
Yeah, me too. I don't think he does if he goes that way.
Yeah.
So that's hard. You've also
Do you think you just gun it?
he's got a second bomb in the chamber, right? And
Yeah, but
so he
the
may be
problem with
looking
that
to
is,
set up.
yeah, I don't think that is going to do anything for him this turn. I mean, obviously, yeah, you can play for position and make it a factor next turn, but I don't know. This may just be a good turn for him to take a 3 bank to the left and turn tail feathers and give a couple Parthian shots before he gets better.
So a question in the chat by Apostasis. Yes, the game is going on a turn counter, not on time. You can see a stack of shields at the center top, currently showing that we are in round 6 of a 12-round game.
Yeah, it works out pretty well in a league-based format. I'm just gonna speak for myself. Everybody else can come to their defense or however, but I'm slower no matter what format, whether it's Vassal or TTS. I'm slower in virtual X-wing than I am in real physical X-wing. It's just I don't have the tactile familiarity, the distances and everything. Trying to compute it, it just doesn't grok the same way. Oh, well, we're getting into the meat of it. Looks like we've got a bump coming in from Magva into Boba. That's interesting. So now I'm really curious on what he's going to do with Biggs.
Yeah, that pretty much cuts off all of Biggs' maneuvers coming in that direction, but turning away, that is
Okay.
clear.
Okay.
Keeping Biggs within range 1 of Callus, maybe?
Well, it
Yeah.
saves Biggs for a future turn. He has a couple of charges on R5, and he can just go ahead and start churning back up his hull to full.
That's true. Good call. Apparently, R5 is a secret the Jedi would tell the rebels. Interesting. So, not even trying to have any pretense of bringing that gun around. He is flying for pure survival.
With that structural damage and only 2 hull left,
Hmm.
he may not get an opportunity.
May not. Ooh.
Now here we
Uh,
see a potential overcommit from Callus. We'll see if that arc manages to
that,
catch him.
ooh, that's.
Hmm.
I'm trying to draw a line, but my wishful thinking is that we're going to roll 4 dice into a dead Bosk. So I'm a biased observer. Okay, okay. So Bubba just taking the K turn. Does he burn contra? Look like it.
So looking at the status on the player hand area, it looks like Biggs did use a R5 charge to flip stunned pilot.
Yeah, I am. That arc is going to be right on the corner between Counts and Bosk. That's really interesting. I don't think he's got the shot, but
Yeah, I think he might be out of range 3 in arc, but outside of range.
I think the range is good. But yeah, I think it's just out. I
So with
can't
that
tell, but
4K, what happened here? Was there a boost back in after that 4K off of Boba?
nope,
Nope. So that's
nope.
just where the 4K sits, huh?
That's where the 4K sits.
That looks mighty close for a 4K.
Or
No, he boosted. I think he boosted back in.
okay, so then did he use contraband?
Yeah, that'd be the only way he could.
Must have.
Two. No, I think that's just a four. Well, no, that can't be a 4K. That no, he had
Yeah.
to have boosted.
Both pilots get straight natties.
Seems good.
So that is Biggs taking one more damage,
I just fixed that.
sitting on one hull remaining. So Bosk does not have a shot, and that's going to pull in his third and final ion token
Mm.
from Disabled Power Regulator, which is the primary reason that I would have expected a turn up just to have a longer runway for that bleeding off the ion.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was.
But if he manages to
Yeah,
hide from Callus's gun this round, then that's going to be a savvy move.
yeah. I mean, it buys him one round is the problem. Because not to get all mad about this, but I bet Bosk dies next turn if he doesn't die this one. Chat looks for the range 3 shot from Magva. Oh, they
Well,
were asking if the shot was into Magva.
yeah, it looks potentially range 3 into Biggs. However, Biggs was where the damage was taken on the
Ah,
board. So
yeah. Oh, that looks like it's got arc.
it does. So
See you later, boss.
looking at the vassal log, it was range 3 into Biggs from Boba. So I think maybe Biggs rolled one too few die.
Ah, the old self handicap trick.
Yeah,
No, didn't he shoot into Magva and then Biggs pulled that hit off?
That's what we
And
thought.
that's why there was two deaths?
ah, that would also do it.
Man, Cal is doing his best to just keep Bosk alive.
He's working for the
Come on,
Empire.
buddy, live. I can't stop myself from shooting at you. Oh, well, he's dead now.
That's better. Yeah.
Use Greedo. Do it.
So,
Yeah.
and that's range 3. So Bosk will get to roll one die. Oh, and it's an evade.
Evade.
Bosk
So
cheekily refusing death. What's the
Depends on what
crit?
the crit is.
Yeah. Direct hit, just yanking him off stage, whether he likes it or not.
and it
Nope.
is weapons failure. It was waiting there the whole time. All right. So to wrap
Uh,
up so far this round, we've had Boba taking a range 2 shot into Magva, who only took 1 damage, but Big said, no, I'll take that. And then Callus manages to slip a single crit in on Bosk, so he too lives on a single hull. Now
looks like
Magva,
we've got one shot into Boba.
yeah, Magva firing at Boba, range 2, only rolls 1 hit, but deals damage anyway.
Yeah, and we've got Epionic over here saying that saw the lock check. Looks like that was for passive sensors, and then very quickly evolved into a arc check after that.
Yeah, we have the advantage that you do not of also having the vassal log up. So any of the tools used to determine arc and range and such is available for us to review. Unfortunately, the choice of whom to shoot is not available for us to review. So So this is the all important turn of getting Leia back up to full charge. So there is potential for shenanigans this round. So we could see Leia using her ability with a Talon roll out of Biggs, a 1 hard out of Callus, and Magva staying where she is.
Hmm.
Oh man, one hard that would be terrifying if Boba's thinking about carving in. Ooh, that net would close really tight. Doesn't sacrifice anything particularly with Callus. I mean, he'll basically take 4 damage whether he likes it or not against Boba. But I mean, Boba also doesn't want to trade 5 dice.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't hate I don't hate that.
he can
And
4K the ghost too.
true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in it, but uh, I don't know. So okay, so the great thing about the one hard is he keeps his options wide open. Like you just go ahead and throw that passive sensor and everything like that. If Bosk is foolish enough to still be a shot, then you kill him. If Boba is foolish enough to be trading paint broadsides, then you put the wood into him. So it's not a bad position to be, and he's got enough health to where this is a good time for him to make that decision. So yeah, why not?
And there we see the Leia use.
Now, where's Magda going in this? Does she just all stop?
Oh, I think she all stops,
So,
yeah. Even
Yeah,
if she
because
doesn't
I
get
think
a good shot on Boba, um,
that
she's in a
still
chasing
covers.
position for Bosk, so
And then Biggs just Talon. Just, yeah, why not?
hmm.
let's see if he decides to focus or try to get an extra hull back. Yep, looks like we're looking at hull.
Yeah.
Don't you think after Bosk is ionized here that next turn he'll be too close to the edge to do the hard turn, or you think he's going to make it
He might make a hard
to stay on the
two.
board?
Uh,
It's hard to say.
I
yeah,
think he's.
he could do a hard two to the left.
I think he's going to be off. We'll see.
That'll fit. Of course, doesn't matter. Like I could believe in the Easter Bunny. Bosk is a dead man.
So that is definitely use of R5 to get Biggs back up to 2 hull. Looks like we're looking at a stop and rotate out of Magba. Epionic saying that when he measured and it shows the ships behind him, then that's not an arc check. Talking about back
Where it's just
when,
got the little lines
yeah,
connected.
yeah. So it's hard to say. At, may get our forensics unit on it later on.
I don't know about pivoting here. Like that doesn't do you a lot of favors if Boba. I don't think Boba did the one straight, but
It could be a hedge your bet situation because if we do see a 1 hard out of Callus, then you don't want to see Boba slip past and just kill Biggs for no reprisal.
yeah, What was the die roll?
Let's see. The last thing that happened was Bosk doing the one straight. He's got a weapons failure,
Wounded. He's okay. That's
structural
what it was.
damage, wounded pilot, disabled power regulator, which is now clear.
Yep, because he just picked up the stress. Well, now his fate truly is sealed. Oh no!
Oh no.
Why?
Unsealed.
Oh, wow. Well, that's okay. Bosk is dead anyways,
Did what?
because by taking that wounded pilot, he cannot do the 2-turn, which would save his life.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
Let's
And
see. Because
Callus
apparently,
takes the last shield on the rock.
oh no, that's not what you wanted.
Oof. Boba says, yes, please. I'll take more of that.
Oh man.
Though here we see Magva in a position to shoot, and Boba can't boost out of it. Though Boba's sitting on stress anyway, so he wouldn't be able to boost.
Yep. This is
So,
also going to be prime bombing position
yeah, for
for
next
next
turn.
turn. Mhm.
That was a range check from Magva, so she is range 2 of Callus, so when Boba fires at Callus, he's only going to be able to reroll one die.
Yep.
Oh, and it's relevant. So that was a single reroll. Debating on use of the Force here. But that single reroll means that Callus gets to roll a green die of his own. Apostasis is asking why we think Bosk is dead. And yes, I think it's because we don't expect the 3 hard to clear.
Yeah. I mean,
Now, if the
no.
one bank clears, then he can take a 3 hard back onto the board.
Yeah, but then Callus is right back where he is. Like he'll just finish it. He's a dead man.
So that's just 2 hits into Callus. Much better than it could have been.
God, you're not kidding. So I'm trying to visually map this. The 3 hard. Uh, if it clears its pixels, I don't think. Well, hang on. You know what? I'm going to change my opinion. I'm going to say that clears.
It's going to be really close, no doubt.
That's shave. That is a shave right there. I mean, it's that or a one bank. Those are his only choices. And as long as Callus doesn't overcommit and just accepts that he's going to get bombed this turn, he'll kill him. Looks like Callus did the 2 hard, Larsenave. The 1 hard, we've had some real estate.
So it looks like a range 1 shot from Magva into Boba, resulting in 2 hits and a crit, only blocked by a single evade.
Gross.
So that'll be the last 2 shields off of Boba.
Well, all of a sudden, those points start becoming super relevant.
Yeah, Boba's not rocking a hull or shield upgrade, so the next damage he takes
Which
will
could be here.
lead to points. We have a range 3 from Biggs.
Well, not today, Biggs.
Not today.
Man, if Callus had missed that asteroid, our debate could have been over,
Yeah.
along with Bosk's troubles.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is the star-crossed romance for the ages. They're too wrapped up in each other to want to decisively kill each other. So
Mm-hmm.
uh,
eh,
Darth Snaves
everybody's
ask.
holding.
Darth Snave asks if Callus did a 1 or a 2 hard, and he did in fact do a 3 hard.
No, making fools of us all.
It was white because of Leia being used that turn.
So
So
you're callous here. You think two straight, just bunny hop you over that asteroid, except that you're going to get bombed. Two straight will put you in a position to punish any move that boss could conceivably do to stay alive.
but then are you too close to the edge?
Two straight with the ghost?
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
Because then you'd want to be able to pull out with a 2 hard the following turn.
Yeah, that gives you clearance either way.
Yeah. You could go ahead and get a little bit more English on it if you did a 2 bank. But
Yeah,
that potentially puts you into Bosk's arc.
right. So it's also if he does the one bank and if you do the two bank, I'm not certain that you would have arc on that situation. I think you need the two straight.
With the two straight, there's no way he dodges the arc. So
Yeah.
Right.
probably.
It's a hedge against either of the moves that keep Bosk alive. Magva, we're probably just looking at a one bank. Of course, here comes the bomb.
With a
Biggs
smorgasbord
probably
of
just.
options.
Oh yeah. You figure Biggs is just going to sweep across here with a three bank to just get back into that range one action. No,
Nope.
we're not making fools of us all.
Oh, here we are. So that is the use of the last R5 charge. To get another hole back. Which does not put him over half, as he had a shield upgrade, so he has already taken 3 damage still. Nope, he would have been up to 7, so it wouldn't have mattered either way. T65s start at 6. See a 1 bank out of Magva, which does not bump.
What? Okay.
Sitting on a focus. It's ready to
Mm-hmm.
keep on hounding. So the question here, if Boba, say Boba did a 2 hard, does he fit around? Oh,
Oh
and there it
no.
is. The 3 hard does not make it. Bosk is a dead man.
Well, glad I didn't have any money in that.
So there we see Bosk taking the big final bow in round 8. True to the hype, Bosk lasted well farther into the game than anybody expected.
Right.
I didn't expect him to
Man,
get ionized.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was expecting him to die like last turn or the turn before that. Like he's been around longer than he should have. But man, Eddie's got a little bit of a problem now. I
And
mean,
there's the two bank.
Bubba can easily solo this list,
He can.
but
But he's been doing a good job of going ahead and softening Boba up a bit.
yeah. So your problem here is that you're running out of time to do this,
Yep.
and if you give up half of Boba right here, you are now officially in trouble.
For Eddie, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's already behind on points. He doesn't have half of Callus or Magva yet.
Mm,
Takes the one bank. If he doesn't take the boost, he's going to be trading range one shots with Magva.
yeah.
He's got a boost out of that.
Good thing.
He's got to save Boba at this point.
Anything boost to the right and just call it around and try to
Yeah.
collect it next turn.
I would
I
think
mean,
so. I think he picks up half on Magva and maybe Callus. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
yeah.
One damage into Boba is like a 56-point shot.
Yeah, that's true. So if he takes the asteroid off in order to hit both rebel ships, he'll take himself as well.
Mm.
Oof.
It's a hard choice here.
Yeah, it is. Put it into Magva and try to.
Yep, there
Yeah.
it is. So takes the gas cloud, 1 damage into Magva.
I think that was the smart play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puts her at half, but leaves Boba Fett unharmed. Magva with wings deployed open and a focus is going to be very difficult to kill with a single shot.
You
Sitting
don't get
on
your
sitting on 4 hull.
you don't get your extra bigs reroll.
Yeah, Biggs won't be able to save her, but
Well, I mean, like he won't be able to get an extra reroll with bigs.
oh, I see. I see.
I think you just spend the force here. The focus is points wise. It's not going to buy you anything. You might need it.
Oh, and he takes the focus for 3 hits into Magva. And Magva
Ooh.
rolls 1 evade.
Well, I don't think she wanted to spend that focus anyways.
Yeah, this is a nice juicy shot.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely want to snag those points on Boba while you can, because it's quite possible that he never sees Boba again if Boba keeps his points here.
Yeah. I gotta hand it to John though. He's played salty. This has been a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Just
Wow.
like two
misses
picks.
arc.
I really thought he had it.
Mm.
Vassal knows all, though.
I tell you what, if there's anything I know, it's that I'm bad at judging pixels, like repeatedly. Doesn't matter the format. Time to spend. Boba is getting those half points up.
Definitely.
Did he forget this? Okay.
So after a reroll and a focus, Boba looking at 3 hits coming in, does put up 2 evades, but he takes that all important 1 more damage,
Yep.
giving up half points.
Mm. Now Boba can't run away.
Yeah, so Boba is holding on to 56. But the list is only 184, so he's really holding on to in the mid 60s worth of points.
Yeah.
Or lower 70s. So got to he's got to do some major killing here. He can leave half of any 2 ships on the board more or less.
Yeah. Now, what he's got going for him here is that Biggs and Magva are not like in a great position to really capitalize on him.
Mm.
And he can basically dial in a 1 bank and just decide whatever the hell he wants to do.
Yeah, we haven't seen him utilize, I don't think, Slave 1 to this point in the game.
Yeah. This would certainly be a good time to do it.
Did Magma spin her target lock on the attack to reroll a die? Thought she did.
No, she used fire control system.
Oh, okay.
So he's leaving that lock where it is
Mm-hmm.
and just going to town with FCS and enjoying the higher action efficiency. So with Boba, you have a lot of options, right? Because you can just decide, well, I'll take a bank and figure it out later. Um,
Mm,
but with John, like you've got to get the Ghost back into the fight as quickly as you can. But meanwhile,
yep.
you can't afford to let Boba just take free shots at your other ships while they try to reposition. So you have to struggle to maintain arc as much as you can with these other 2 ships. So are we looking at red maneuvers out of them to try to keep arc on? Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, the the one thing that you've got, I guess, helping you out in this situation is, say, for example, the mitigation that Magva provides. Yep, here we go, 4K. And probably going to get a pivot to the right from Magva. Or that. Okay. Pure hedge. Okay.
I think no matter which way Magva turned, Boba just could go the other way if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
It's not a
Uh,
bad move.
And the likelihood is that Biggs is going to be able to potentially keep Magva alive this round as well.
right.
He'll be able to pull 1 off, so if Magva even rolls a single evade, she'll be able to withstand 3 hits.
Ooh,
This is interesting.
Ooh, the Talon roll.
Without cybernetics,
no, he's already used it.
that's gutsy. Because next turn you got to swap spit with Callus over here. Not a prospect I'm looking forward to.
So it looks like he has Magva at range 1, Biggs at range 2, Callus at range 3. Smorgasbord of options. taking the range 1 shot into Magma. Only allowed to reroll 1.
Don't even need that.
You can still fearless and maul.
Fearless and force.
Mm. Looks like he uses Fearless.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
And
saves the force.
may just leave it there. Magva has 1 chance to survive 3 hits. Well, 3 and 8's chance.
Mm.
No, she just rolls 1 defense die, right? Isn't she?
She does,
She
but
done?
Biggs can pull 1 off.
Oh yeah.
So no green dice yet. Looks like Eddie may still be looking at that and deciding whether he's comfortable with that 3/8 chance of her getting a shot. Nope, and he's not, guaranteeing the kill.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right choice.
So that is going to be a dead Magva. No point in pulling damage onto Biggs for someone who's not going to be alive to appreciate
Save me, Biggs. What if I didn't?
it.
What if I want to live now, guys?
Biggs is just bye, Felicia.
So no shot with Callus, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
And Biggs should have a range 2. Boba has removed his own reroll bank, so this will be completely unmodded in both directions.
Oh well.
And blocked. Apostasis in the chat saying that Eddie had a missed opportunity to use his free reroll first, and if that reroll ended up with a blank, you could still fearless the blank and force the remaining focus.
Ooh,
So order
yeah.
of operations does matter. So here we have, ending the round, Boba on 5-hull, facing a 3-hull Biggs, and a Callus that's going to take at least 2 turns to kill.
Yep.
Callus
Now,
already has a lock on Boba, so if he manages to grab Arc and an action this turn, it's probably going to hurt.
yeah. Yeah, so this is now a choosing game. I mean, do you who do you focus down to get your points in these next 2 turns?
He does not outpoint Callus if he allows Callus to stay at full. So he has to deal damage to Callus.
Okay.
True. And even killing Biggs doesn't really get you the point you.
Yeah. I think Biggs right here is just to try to get Boba in a bad position, which is going to be very difficult to do for obvious Slave One reasons. But if Callus is doing the 1 bank to just try to bring his gun around, then you could very easily get at the side of him. Okay, that's different.
So here we see
I don't
the.
think
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think the 1 bank on the ghost is blue though.
Is it not?
I
It
think
is
it
not.
takes a 2 bank. Yeah.
Oh no.
So he might
Well,
just he might
maybe
just
just do
two
it too
hard
hard.
in. Oh no, he does take the 1 bank. There we go. And maybe Biggs is sitting in the spot where he is in order to try to keep Boba from escaping in that direction, so that the
Could
1
be.
bank is enough.
Just Come closer. Come closer, Boba.
Oh, Neonum.
Yep.
Last
Reading
Starfighter
Oh,
pointing out Neonum, all the banks are blue.
reading the cards is good. Oh, now
the
this is
cards
going
do
to be
things.
interesting.
So it
Oh, that is not what Boba wanted.
looks like he takes the passive sensor's action, even though it appears that there's already a callus lock on Boba.
Mm,
So, but he still has the option to take a calculate when it's his turn to fire.
true.
Looks like Boba has a range 2 into callus. 2 crits.
Ooh,
Not what the ghost wants to see.
No, it is not. Why are defense dice rolling?
No, that was Boba's reroll.
Oh,
He
okay.
rerolled a blank into a blank.
There we go.
Callus rolls the blank, takes 2 crits.
Gross.
And this is where Bosk's Part 2 starts to happen.
Correct.
ooh.
Ooh, direct.
Wait with anticipation. Ah, okay. And fuel leak.
And fuel
Ah,
leak. Good thing for him, they were in that order. So at this point, the tables have turned points wise, and Eddie only needs to get out with Boba at 1 hull to finish
about
out the
the
game.
yeah.
And there's a decent chance he
Hmm.
does it with only 2 more rounds after this remaining in the game.
Yep. Crit chains happen. We'll see how that goes.
Yep, with a range 2 shot, if a couple of crits get in there, this could be the end of Boba. However, with a reroll and a force, that is unlikely.
Right.
See the calculate. So we should see 4 dice with a target lock and a calculate. Doesn't need it. Whoo! Spicy.
Oh, Callus wants blood this turn.
Mm,
And blood he shall have. It's 2 crits going into Boba's hole. Regardless, the reroll brings up
does
nothing.
not save him.
So 1 hit and 2 crits into Boba. If we have
Mm.
a crit chain here, that could be the end of Boba after all.
Just when he wanted to run away and play no more.
So we see loose stabilizer.
Oh, Boba does care about that one though.
He does.
Ooh,
Oh,
Oh
oh no.
no. And structural
Not like
damage.
this.
Oh no.
Love it.
It's not a
Oh,
death sentence, but it is close.
oh, he knew exactly where to hit him.
He can't turn to run away,
Oh my god.
and he can't just stay in arcs either. This is
ooh.
bad news for Eddie.
Oh my god.
That one turn where he was just going to trade range 2 with Callus, get his points
Ooh,
and move on, turned out very badly.
And Callus kept his target lock too. He's just going to 4K and just come roaring.
Yep, absolutely.
And there is nothing Boba can do to stop it from happening.
I mean, yeah. So Boba could take a 2 hard and just accept the 1 damage from loose stabilizer and try to boost out of there.
Oh,
Wow.
don't
Putting him in
think.
one hole though.
So here's the other thing too. If Biggs takes the Talon roll to the left, that's a kill box.
Is Leia charge going to be active for the rebel?
Leia
Leia's
is
dead.
Leia's dead.
unfortunately dead. She has met her
She's not
demise.
dead.
Hope was not enough this time.
Yeah, if he does either of those moves, you're looking at Boba without the benefit of his reroll with 1 defense time, maybe 2 if it's range 3. Yep, here comes the Talon.
And the 4K. Looking to polish them off a bounty hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anywhere. No. Just accepting it.
Yeah.
Face me.
Takes the focus.
Not even bothering to boost or fix his crit or anything. He's in.
Oof. So with 5 hull left on Callus and a fuel leak. So if he gets a crit into this chain, he could potentially.
He's using Chewbacca to fix it, isn't he?
Oh yeah, the start of engagement
Yes,
phase. You may spend 2 charge to repair 1 face-up damage card. Fuel leak no longer on the table. Callus not officially out of danger, but close.
Man, have to be an awfully specific crit chain, and which is not happening.
2 hits,
no
not
reroll.
Enough. And with no mods, Callus just takes it.
Oh man, and this return is gonna hurt.
Rolls 2 hits.
That's fatal right there. Well,
Has
no,
the
I'm sorry.
lock. He needs 1
Not
more.
fatal yet.
Needs
one more to seal it.
And he gets it.
Which he's got.
There
That's
it is.
Game.
That was quite the turnaround. I did not see that coming.
Man. That was really impressive.
So I have Eddie and John here in the stream commentary channel with us. So good game, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. That was a lot of fun.
So I gotta say, it looked like you had it there at the end. You had a 2-3 ships facing down your Boba, but Boba really excels at taking shots and getting away. And man, that one round where Callus just said not today, that was very exciting.
Oh, dude! The second I saw those dice pop up on the screen, I'm just my eyes were just like, oh no, this is it. I'm done.
That was the absolute crit chain you did not want to see.
No,
Nope.
no, it wasn't. And you should have heard me in the chat when I hit him on Callus. Like, I was begging for those crits to be fuel leak or hull
Well-
damage and then direct hits. And then, of course, he gets direct hit first. I'm like, oh, no!
And then I get the fuel leak, which I looked over and went, I have Chewie, so I don't care.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's
That's actually the first time too that I've had someone take Bosk off the table. Last week, Scott got really close to it, but
I mean, Boss did not like getting 2 rounds of 5 dice from Callus up the butt.
well, I couldn't get Bosk to trigger any of the ability combos with any real great effect. It was killing me.
Right.
Yeah,
'cause
there
he's-
was no opportunity for Forlom in that match, so it was it was a little tricky. Bosco was in an early kind of an awkward spot, and it didn't improve. But yeah, it was. I mean, that was obviously not something that would cripple you on its face because Boba is just known for taking entire lists and tabling them, or at least
Oh yeah,
working the balance.
I told, we kept on saying it back and forth. I definitely thought there was the opportunity for Boba Fett to come back still because he had hardly had any damage. I mean, the fact that I lost stealth device just because of my misplacement of a seismic and whatnot, that hurt me a little bit, but that wasn't a major game changer or anything. It's just Boba Fett couldn't get the effects he needed early enough.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was surprised Biggs stayed around for as long as he did. I was pretty sure going into this, like, Biggs is going to be the first ship off the border from my fleet.
Yeah, well, escaping on one hull really let the whole regen droid that you brought shine.
And
Yeah.
I was just sad that I couldn't save Magva because it looked like at one point that Biggs was going to be in Fire Arc with Boba, and because I was at range 1 to Magva, I was like, okay, if I roll this just right, Magva could survive on one hull.
Yeah.
Nope.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah,
Boba
it's
just said
always
no
really
back to
tricky
me.
trying to herd Boba just because of that Slave One ability, and it's almost one of those things where it's like you try to put him like because it'll give you like a false choice where it's like I'm going to be here, and Boba's like, well, I'm just going
Yeah.
to pick a one that's not anymore. So a lot of times it's one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm going to pull all my guns here, so Boba takes what looks like the prudent choice to go over here, and we just slowly herd him over. Which, I mean, it
Yeah.
didn't being that way because Eddie just accepted the danger, and it worked out for him in that turn where he took Magva off the board. But yeah, that was an interesting play.
Yeah, and I fly almost nothing but Boba Fett and something else, and I'm probably one of the few that would say go back to the old Slave One and throw the stress on him. It's way powerful of an ability. Either the price needs to go back up, or they're gonna have to throw the stress back on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think either or. It's an awesome ability that just game changes so much. Yeah.
now how many points is the title again? I can't remember.
It's like not many at all. It's like
Uh,
one. Is it one?
It's either 1 or 2. Double checking.
I've got it right here. Slave One
Yep, 1 point.
is 1 point.
Oh yeah, that's going up next point change.
Oh yeah. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And when I was before this whole quarantine thing down here in Dothan, I was still flying Boba Fett with the old Slave One title. I didn't know the Slave One title had changed.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
was still throwing the stress on him still, and one of my buddies was like, "Dude, you're playing it in hard mode."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, oops."
Oops.
That's just like resistance training. Like you're running with like weights on and everything like that, and then
Yeah.
I was training for this the entire time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's oh man.
And And then when I had that surprise block with Biggs, because I figured he was going to overshoot Biggs and go to Callus, and it was like one straight bump. Okay, Biggs, you did a good job.
Yep.
Yeah, that's seriously that I think that's what was a final real set that was like, hey, I done screwed up Boba Fett trouble. If I'd done the 2 forward, done a shot out the rear end at Biggs, potentially tabled him, I still think you would have had it point wise, but it definitely would have been a much different ending, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I surprised you a few times where I put Callus at, like, okay, not expecting you to go there with him.
Yeah. Callus's positioning was. I mean, I'm not used to flying large base ships. I've only started flying Bosk since round 2 of this league, and it's been one of those, try and get used to them. And Callus is just, that ghost is, man, it's deadly.
Oh yeah. You don't want to tangle with 4 dice, 5 dice, anything like that. Like I mean, there's a real intimidation factor throwing that many dice in second edition.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and when the first time he rolled 5 dice at me, I'm like, wait, I thought the ghost was a 3 dice gun. No, it's a 4 dice base. I'm like, oh great.
And I told him the terror was like, I could do Hera with Saul, and then fly Jan, and just have Jan go, oh look, Hera, you're in range 1 of them. Here, so you can roll 6 dice at range 1. Have fun.
Nasty.
But I really do like what you've done with this, John. Like, for one, like I'm big kudos for being the first person that I've seen put Callus on the table. That was really cool to see. But I mean, this list has survivability. I mean, Chewbacca taking off these crits, and I mean, of course, everybody knows Biggs and everything like that. And the mitigation that you get with Magva, which was really clutch. I forgot that impacted all rerolls, and it wasn't just target locks.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you like all of the defensive bonuses that you had baked into this list. Really, it kept you in far more rounds than you would have been otherwise. It was really cool to kind of see the endurance at play with everything that you had here.
And I figured, if nothing else, to kind of shine a light on some pilots that don't normally get used in games. And
Yeah,
I'm all about the Rebel shenanigans, as it is.
There's a lot of shenanigans involved too. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, and your defensive mods compared to my offensive mods, it was definitely a whose mods are going to be better employed in this, and in the long run it came down, and it was, I mean, that was a great game. That was very questionable down to the end, I think.
Yeah, and the fact that I was able to get layoff twice, almost the third time if Magva lived.
Right. I mean, the number of times that you're able to do that, it definitely helps you to impose your will on a game. Usually, if you're getting that many charges out of Leia, then you're doing pretty good. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think I kind of surprised you that one turn when I went Leia and then immediately went contraband on Magva, which threw you surprised, like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. Saul's Renegades has the illicit spot.
Yep.
Yeah, that threw us for a loop too. All right.
Well, we were also wondering. There was a couple times where it was taking us a couple minutes to get rounds complete. We were just thinking to ourselves, they're probably wondering what's going on our end. And my internet had dropped out like 3 times while we were playing. I'm just like, oh gosh.
Oh, we just made small talk, chit chat.
You gave us time to talk about ourselves. I mean, that's what we love to talk about.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Eddie, thank you so much for coming on and giving us a great game.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. It was a great fun. Quick shout out to Fanatics down here in Dothan. Sadly, they are closing their store for good here with all the troubles going on this year, just not able to maintain it. So shout out to the Dothan Fanatics Flyers that came up to the table store, your store tournament back before the quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, yikes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Y'all got some good people down there. Hopefully, y'all get something to land on after everything is done. So I
No,
mean,
I'm sure Aaron and Jacob and I will keep something going, and we'll definitely come up there and remind you guys that you guys aren't the best ones around.
gotcha. Looking forward to it.
yes.
And John, congratulations on your win tonight, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, look, now I've done both sides. I've commentated and actually played on stream.
Very
So
nice.
hey, there we go.
Coming
Congrats,
along.
John.
Resume.
All right, and that's good night from me. Good night from Charlie.
Good night.
And good night from Dale.
Good night.